True Story Media.
We gather here tonight to bring women back to their rightful place.
The Testaments, a new Hulu original series from the executive producers of The Handmaid's Tale.
It's easier to accept a story than believe that the people around you are monsters.
The battle isn't over.
There comes a time when you have to take action, when you have to choose your own destiny.
Never quite as it seems.
Watch the new Hulu original series, The Testaments, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Here's a little tune to help you remember. Same drive, different day. Don't you wish you were getting away? Pack your bags and come on through. Texas, Ohio, Alaska, we're up there too. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Well, I hope you like my little song. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
This podcast contains adult themes and language, and some of the things that we discuss may be disturbing to some listeners. In this podcast, we discuss sexual assault, torture, race, and murder. Listener discretion is advised. Please take care of yourself.
Welcome to Fruitloops, Buiti Binafi, and Bienvenidos Bitches. Thank you so much for listening. Fruitloops is a true crime, history, and comedy podcast that delves into the often overlooked stories of serial killers of color and, more importantly, the victims. We take deep dives into the lives and crimes of these killers worldwide, while also examining the history, culture, and social factors that may have influenced their actions. And the reason that we cover these crimes is because they often go unnoticed by the public. And why is that? Because in the simplest of terms, the news is racist. Allegedly.
And we are Wendy and Beth. She's Wendy, a Black Latinx woman, and I'm Beth, and I just happen to be white. That's just a little piece of who we are. Another piece is that although we are both fascinated by true crime, really fascinated by true crime, and we know a lot about it, keep in mind that we are not journalists, investigators, or psychologists, and the opinions expressed in this podcast are just that, our opinions.
Who are we talking about today, friend?
Well, in 1996, a teenager named Travis Santay Lewis was arrested for the murders of a woman and her nephew at a historic estate in Arkansas. More than 20 years later, after Lewis was released from prison, the woman's daughter, believing in second chances, welcomed him back into her life. But the story was far from over. And this is episode 275, Generational Murder.
All right. Well, this wild case, can't wait to get into it. But before we do, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a great time at CrimeCon.
Yeah.
We got to meet so many really cool people. Some of them were fruities.
Yeah.
So shout out to the fruities who came to say hello.
That's right.
And others were just people who were at CrimeCon and came over to say hi. And so it was really fun. I don't know about you, but when I got back, I went straight back to work.
Yep,
so I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm right there with you. I did the exact same thing. I wish I could have had a day to just to reacclimate to my time zone. Yeah. But it was like my travel was all sorts of
messed
up.
So
Yeah,
I remember.
I didn't get home till 11 p.m. Ugh. And then, my family was like, we want your time.
God.
I didn't get to go to sleep
no
right away.
Relaxation whatsoever.
Yeah. And then boom, back at work.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good and grateful. The CrimeCon was incredible. It was amazing.
It was.
I calculated our fifth one, but I'm really bad at math and time.
I think if you include the CrimeCon UK.
Yeah. And I do.
Okay.
And so it was amazing. It was amazing. It was so fun. We just had a time. And this podcast is going to turn 8 years old next week.
That's right.
And it was so wonderful to meet our existing fruities and meet new ones. And, we honestly could not have made it this far, 8 years, without our fruities. So
without listeners,
thank you.
yeah.
Without listeners, yeah. I mean, anybody can have a podcast, but do people listen to it? That's really important.
That's
and so,
something special, yeah.
Yeah. So just hip hop air horns for everybody. We love you. We're just so grateful. But it was interesting to hear the recurrent feedback of people being surprised about serial killers of color.
Yeah.
And I think
They
it goes
couldn't
without
believe it.
believe it.
We have 270 something episodes about serial killers, but you don't believe it.
Okay. We're just making it up all these 8 years. But it goes without saying, we had to sort of reiterate this, that the people responsible for the highest statistical amounts of violence and harm in America are white Americans.
Yeah.
But our effort is to elevate these stories and be able to talk about these systems and lift up the stories of these victims that otherwise stories wouldn't get told. So thank you, everybody. We love you. And we're going to take a quick break and then get into the story when we come back.
All right.
Ever wonder where Tropicana got its name? The tropics. And every time you enjoy a glass, you're not just drinking juice, you're taking a trip. Stepping into sunshine and embarking on a flavorful journey into the tropics where ripe fruit is crafted into wildly delicious juice. And the best part? No passport required. Tropicana. Give life some juice.
Okay, we're back. Remind us who our subject is today, Beth.
Well, in 1996, teenager Travis Santay Lewis was arrested for the murders of Sally Snowden McKay and her nephew, blues musician Lee Baker, at the historic Snowden estate on Horseshoe Lake. Despite the unimaginable loss, Sally's daughter Martha chose forgiveness. And when Lewis was released from prison 23 years later, Martha gave him a second chance. But that decision would lead to another devastating tragedy.
All right, now it's time for the love and light portion of our show where we say rest in power to the victims whose lives were cut short and love and light to their loved ones and communities left in the wake of this crime. The victims are Sally Snowden McKay, 75, Joseph Lee Baker, 53, and Martha McKay, 63. So now let's get into the setting and early life of Travis. Take us there, Beth.
Well, the setting is the Snowden family estate, historically known as Snowden House. It's in the Arkansas Delta, a region in eastern Arkansas along the Mississippi River. The home was on the banks of Horseshoe Lake, which is located near the borders of both Mississippi and Tennessee, just a little over 30 miles southwest of Memphis.
Before and during the era of European colonization, this region was home to the Quapaw, Tunica, and Osage nations. The word Arkansas actually has its origins in the Quapaw language. French settlers referred to them as Akansa. The area served as an excellent source of fish, game, and waterfowl. 200
years ago, Horseshoe Lake was not a lake.
Oh.
It was just a bend in the Mississippi River. So if you can imagine a river snaking along, there's a bend going one way and then the other way. So it was just a bend. Mm-hmm. And then the New Madrid earthquakes, which I double-checked, and it is pronounced Madrid.
Not Madrid.
Not Madrid. The New Madrid earthquakes dramatically reshaped the landscape. This series of quakes between 1811 and 1812 was so powerful that they reportedly rang church bells in Boston.
Whoa,
and
that's far away.
Caused the Mississippi River to temporarily run backward.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
Mother Earth is so dope.
It's amazing. Yeah. So they were between like 7.5, 8 on the Richter scale. Those are massive earthquakes.
Wow. That's wild. I had no idea. Wow. So when the earthquakes finally ended, parts of the Mississippi River channel were cut off, forming oxbow lakes, crescent or U-shaped lakes created when a wide looping curve in a river is cut from the main channel. One of those lakes would eventually become known as Horseshoe Lake.
Mosquito-borne diseases and frequent flooding discouraged early colonization in this area, but over time a handful of families settled there. However, it was the Snowden family who really shaped the identity of Horseshoe Lake.
Robert Bogardus Snowden Jr. Bogardus. Jeffrey Sessions was Jeffrey Beauregard, and that's what the Bogardus reminds me. Anyway, Robert Bogardus Snowden Jr., known as Bob, was born in 1896 into one of Memphis's most influential families. His grandfather had served in the Confederate Army during the Civil War before becoming a prominent figure in Memphis history and business. And his father became one of Memphis's most successful real estate developers.
Bob Snowden studied agriculture at a private Episcopal liberal arts college in Sewanee, Tennessee. There he met Grace Mountcastle, which sounds really fancy.
Yes, indeed.
Of Knoxville. Their plans to marry were interrupted by World War I, during which time Bob became a pilot and Grace was a nurse. After surviving the war, they married and searched for a place to build their future.
In 1919, Bob Snowden established Horseshoe Plantation after purchasing approximately 1,000 acres near Hughes, Arkansas, on the northwestern side of Horseshoe Lake. Bob and Grace initially built a modest home on the lake, essentially a raised fishing cabin with a screened-in porch, one bathroom, and a single fireplace used for heat. Welcome to Culture Corner with Wendy and Beth. This case takes place in the Deep South, and I saw the photos of that huge house.
Eventually, it becomes a huge house, yeah.
Yeah, the one where all the stuff happened.
Yeah.
Coupled with the fact that they called it a plantation, which the word itself is trauma-inducing for Black people. I'll tell you right now, I've been at events where the word plantation is uttered, and then all the Black people are like, plantation?
Really? Wow.
Yes. And wanted to know, was this home a slave plantation? And it was not, we know. And while none of the articles specified this, it is very likely, in my opinion, that there was some sharecropping going on or some sort of system like it, especially since the home was built during Jim Crow.
Right.
And cotton was one of the crops that made them a lot of money. And cotton was king in the area, and Black labor was the backbone of that industry.
Right.
Most Black families in the area worked as sharecroppers or laborers and on land owned by white people. The system of Jim Crow and sharecropping enforced a racial hierarchy that kept Black laborers tied to the land that they worked. Now, the Snowden family, while not confirmed or mentioned anywhere, it does fit a pattern of white landowners controlling land and capital while Black families provided the labor. And that's all.
Yeah, and this story, it made me question, I don't know if I've ever thought about it before, but what's the difference between a farm and a plantation? I didn't know. So I looked it up, and generally a plantation is much larger, focused on growing a single cash crop, and operated primarily for profit and dependent on a large labor force. Whereas a farm is typically smaller, raises a variety of crops and animals, and is often family run to provide both income and food. So that's the difference between a plantation and a farm. So because a plantation requires such a large labor force, a lot of it is forced labor. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. And every article that I read about this story described the situation at Horseshoe as tenant farming, which is different from sharecropping because tenants have more autonomy. But that doesn't mean there wasn't sharecropping, since there probably was a lot of whitewashing going on.
Sure.
So there probably was.
Yeah.
And in this region, the Arkansas Delta, it was a major center of activity for the Southern Tenant Farmers Union, which is also called STFU, which I kept reading as Shut the Fuck Up. In the 1930s, it was an interracial labor movement that fought against the harsh poverty, debt, and evictions tied to the sharecropping system because both white and black people were involved in that.
Right.
But by the mid-20th century, the widespread use of mechanized cotton pickers dramatically reduced the need for farm labor, accelerating the collapse of sharecropping across the Delta. So, History Corner.
Thank you, Beth, for that History Corner, which was
You're welcome.
fire. We all learned something, and thank you so much. We
You're
love
welcome.
learning here.
Yeah.
So, in any case, the plantation did well, producing high-grade cotton and becoming one of the wealthiest and largest plantations in eastern Arkansas. The family expanded with the births of 3 daughters and a son, including Sarah Day, known as Sally Snowden. As the family grew, so did their home.
In 1949, the Snowdens hired a prominent Memphis architect to transform their simple cabin into a sprawling 6,000 square foot Southern mansion.
Wow.
Inspired by a Louisiana antebellum mansion that Grace admired, the remodeled Snowden house featured a sweeping staircase, black and white marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and a grand Greek revival entrance hall overlooking Horseshoe Lake. But what the fuck is this fascination that white Southerners have with
I'm
the
dying to know.
antebellum South?
I'm dying to know.
Because
We talked about this at Crime
love it.
Con.
Yeah, yeah. Much of it stems from a romanticized version of plantation life for white people that portrayed wealthy landowners as elegant, honorable, and refined, similar to the aristocratic classes of Europe. So kind of princes and princesses, really.
Okay.
Or kings and queens. You know, they're yearning for the old times when they owned everything.
Sure. But really horrific things happen there. So from the black
Right.
perspective, it's
Exactly.
traumatic
It's
and
not
horrifying.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out why the white people
Yes.
love
yes.
this
Sorry.
so much.
Continue. Yes.
And this idealized image has been reinforced through the lost cause narrative, which is we talked about this a lot in several episodes.
Yeah.
And it's a cultural reinterpretation of the Confederacy that downplays slavery and instead emphasizes themes of regional pride, tradition, and a supposedly noble defense of Southern heritage.
It's not hate, it's heritage, is what,
Yeah, exactly.
some of them, I've heard them say.
So I think a lot of it is whitewashing and reimagining and
You got it. You can do it. I believe in you.
I can do it. Romanticizing.
Yes.
the South and imagining what it was like back then when you were basically a prince or a princess.
Yeah, and could ignore the plight of people
the
living right
peasants.
next to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you for that, friend.
Mhm.
Again, this has been a mystery that I've been pondering for 42 years. So now I get it. In 1952, Sally Snowden married New York actor David McKay. And here's another culture corner, maybe a history corner. From 1955 to 1967, Arkansas was in what's often called the Faubus era, referring to the 12-year governorship of Orville Faubus. Orville Faubus. And he became internationally known in 1957 during the Little Rock crisis when he used the Arkansas National Guard to block 9 students from integrating a school, Central High Schools particularly, openly defying the U.S. Supreme Court. So that's the social and political atmosphere during this time in Arkansas.
Not good.
Not good. Nope, not at all. Ugh. I hate seeing those photos. They always pop up on social media. Those people are still alive. Those parents yelling at those
white
kids.
People being so hateful.
Yeah.
It's really disturbing.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's even more disturbing when you realize they're not gone. Their beliefs are not gone. They probably passed their beliefs down to their children, etc. So, and now here we are, 2026. Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Ugh, gross. Anyway. So after spending several years at Horseshoe, Sally and David moved to the West Coast, though their children frequently spent summers at Snowden House. Sally's daughter, Martha, later recalled those summers fondly, describing the estate as magical, filled with gardens, fresh eggs, peach orchards, swimming, and the feeling of living like royalty.
That does all sound pretty nice.
Pretty nice, yeah.
When you think
that
about
way.
it. Yeah, we wouldn't put it that way. By 1982, Sally was divorced and her children were grown. After her father's death, she returned to Horseshoe Lake to manage the family business. A certified public accountant, she oversaw the plantation's operations, including dozens of rental cabins along the lake.
Around this time, Travis Santay Lewis, who was born about 1980, and we couldn't find a whole lot about his early life, but he was living with his family on one of the Snowden rental properties. His mother Gladys worked as a cook and a waitress, and the family was well respected in the area. Travis had 3 sisters and a brother and was described as shy, smart, and an above-average student.
During this time, Horseshoe Lake was becoming a vacation destination with rental cabins and a fishing camp. Although Horseshoe Lake's Black population was relatively small, estimated at around 3 to 5%, nearby Hughes was majority Black, around 60%.
Yeah, so I kind of wonder if all of the Black people in Horseshoe Lake were related, because it's such a small percentage, and there's at this time, less than 300 people living there.
Yeah.
So
No,
makes you wonder.
Yeah, it definitely does. Definitely does.
Yeah. Snowden House was leased as a bed and breakfast while Sally lived at a cabin and ran a nearby antique shop. Sally's nephew, Joseph Lee Baker, known as Lee, also lived at Horseshoe Lake with his wife and their 3 sons. A respected blues musician and vocalist, Lee was well known in the Memphis music scene and also taught English at Hughes High School.
Oh. So Travis and his brother, Edric, were friends with Lee's sons. Edric had said that they were the first white friends they had ever had, and the 2 families were considered friendly. When he became a teenager, Travis attended classes at Hughes High School, where Lee was one of his teachers. Now let's get into the timeline. Hit it, Beth.
In 1996, the normally quiet and affluent Horseshoe Lake community was shaken by a series of break-ins. Then on August 12th, tragedy struck when a fire destroyed the Baker family's home while they were away. Investigators determined the blaze had been deliberately set, likely to conceal a burglary.
Lee Baker had reportedly kept a large sum of cash in the house to help fund the printing and pressing of his band's new record. The fire not only consumed the money, but also destroyed irreplaceable music memorabilia, including a guitar once owned by blues pioneer Fruitloops Lewis, along with treasured family photographs and personal keepsakes.
After the fire, the Bakers moved into one of the rental cabins about 100 yards from Sally's home. And on the morning of September 10th, about a month after his house burned down, Lee, following his usual routine, went to Sally's house to help collect rent from the lake cabins. Together, they would gather payments, balance the books, and then make the bank deposits.
Later that morning, a local resident came across what appeared to be a serious car accident. A red Toyota Camry lay turned on its side along the road. No one was inside, but the engine was still running. Concerned, the resident reported the discovery to a nearby grocery store owner who believed the car belonged to Sally Snowden, and the 2 drove to Sally's house to check on her.
And you might wonder why they went to the grocery store. It's because there was no police station anywhere nearby.
And no cell phones.
No cell phones.
No
yeah,
payphones.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So that's, I think probably the grocery store was the closest place.
Got you.
Pay's checkout is offered by your banks and credit unions. So when you shop online at participating merchants, your cards appear in one place, ready to use and kept up to date. And the best part, your actual card number isn't shared when you check out, because boundaries are healthy, like no work emails after 6. One small step for boundaries, one big leap for checkout. Pays. It checks out. Activation required. See Pays.com to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
33 days, 33 episodes. Join me, Max Rushton, and our expert team of soccer journalists every day of the World Cup for analysis, drama, and everything in between. World Cup Daily, listen on Spotify now, or watch full episodes on YouTube.
When they arrived, they noticed a pickup truck backed up to the door of the house, blocking entry, and they caught smell of smoke. Realizing that something was very wrong, they called 911. When first responders arrived, they forced their way inside and found extensive fire damage and thick smoke. Worse, within the home, they discovered 2 partially burned bodies.
As news of the fire spread, it reached the grocery store where Lee's son Joseph happened to be. He rushed toward the scene but was stopped before he could approach the house. Eventually, the bodies were brought outside and identified as Sally Snowden and Lee Baker.
The loss was devastating for the Baker family. Only weeks earlier, Lee's wife had lost nearly everything they owned in the fire that destroyed their home. Now, she had lost her husband as well.
As investigators processed the scene, they uncovered a chilling detail. Both Sally and Lee had been shot before the fire was set. What initially appeared to be another suspicious fire was now a double homicide.
The murders sent shockwaves through the Horseshoe Lake community. Residents were left wondering who could have committed such a brutal crime and whether the killer was still living among them.
So now let's get into the investigation and the arrest. Here goes. A full-scale investigation began immediately. Detectives believed robbery was the most likely motive. Sally and Lee had been collecting rent payments that morning and were expected to be carrying a significant amount of cash.
Investigators were unable to locate either the murder weapon or any shell casings at the scene. In an effort to find the gun, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee sent a dive team to assist Arkansas authorities in searching Horseshoe Lake near the boat dock behind Sally's home, but the weapon was never recovered.
Investigators soon learned that the Baker's rental cabin had also been burglarized that same day. They began to suspect that the murders were connected to the string of recent break-ins around Horseshoe Lake, and that one of those burglaries had escalated into violence.
Attention quickly turned to Sally's overturned red Toyota Camry, which had been found about a mile from the home. The vehicle had struck a tree before flipping into a ditch. A cracked windshield suggested that the driver had hit their head during the crash.
I just thought of that detail. It's 1996. No blood? No DNA evidence? Anyway.
We'll find out.
Okay. Investigators found fingerprints on the passenger side door frame and hairs on the interior ceiling of the car. They theorized that the driver had crawled out through the passenger side window and then fled on foot.
Authorities asked residents to report anything unusual that they had seen that morning, especially anyone with unexplained injuries that might be consistent with a car accident. One witness reported seeing a speeding car with 2 young black men inside.
Police began reviewing local individuals with criminal records and soon focused on a local named Edric Lewis. His fingerprints and hair samples were collected, and he submitted to a polygraph examination. However, investigators quickly ruled him out when they confirmed he had been meeting with his probation officer at the time of the murders.
Pretty solid alibi.
Yeah, I'll say.
Meanwhile, Lee Baker's son Joseph suggested another name, Edric's brother, Travis Lewis. He said that Travis had previously stolen video games from the Baker family. To Travis's family, the suggestion was ridiculous. Petty theft was a far cry from double murder, and I have to agree.
Fully. Yeah, thanks, friend.
Yeah.
But investigators wondered whether Travis might have held a grudge after being accused of stealing. And they also considered whether he could have been involved in the earlier fire that destroyed the Baker's home.
Police learned that Travis had connections to both victims. His mother and his grandparents rented their home from Sally McKay. Lee Baker was his English teacher at Hughes High School, and he was friendly with the Baker boys.
Detectives also uncovered an incident from the previous year in which Travis had allegedly attempted to cash a check belonging to Sally McKay. And investigators learned that he had been suspended from school on the day of the murders, so he was not in school that day.
And I couldn't find out why he was suspended.
Interesting.
However, when questioned, Travis claimed he had spent the day at home and only noticed the fire trucks when they passed by. His mother, Gladys, supported his account. he denied any involvement and agreed to take a series of 3 polygraph tests. He initially passed, though the results were considered borderline.
Weeks later, investigators brought Travis back in for further questioning and gave him a 4th polygraph. That's too many polygraphs.
Too many polygraphs.
Yeah. This time he failed. During questioning, Travis changed his story. He said he didn't want his mother to know he had been suspended from school, so he had been out riding his bike.
He was riding his bike to the baker's house when he ran into his friend Andre. According to Travis, the two planned separate burglaries. Travis would target the baker's rental cabin while Andre would rob Sally's house.
Travis told investigators that when they reunited, Andre confessed to killing both Sally and Lee. He said that at that point, they returned to the house and attempted to move the bodies, but were unable to do so.
So instead, they set the house on fire.
Oh,
Backed
okay.
a pickup truck against the door to block entry, which is actually pretty smart.
Oh, word?
It's shitty, but smart. And then they fled in Sally's Toyota Camry. Travis said Andre crashed the car, and they ran from the scene, and later, Andre threw the gun into Horseshoe Lake.
Investigators immediately began looking into Andre. Several people reported hearing him boast about committing the murders, and rumors circulated that he had sought treatment for crash-related injuries under a false name.
But when police questioned Andre, he vehemently denied any involvement. Although he failed a polygraph examination, he provided an alibi stating that he had been with a female acquaintance at the time of the murders, and she confirmed his account.
Andre also voluntarily provided fingerprints, hair samples, and DNA. When forensic testing was completed, the results were devastating for Travis's defense. The fingerprints found in the crashed Camry belonged to Travis. The hair recovered from inside the vehicle matched Travis's DNA as well. Investigators found no forensic evidence linking Andre to the car, the crime scene, or any part of the case.
And on November 5th, 1996, authorities arrested Travis Lewis. Travis had been just 15 years old when Sally McKay and Lee Baker were killed. He turned 16 shortly before his arrest. Based on the physical evidence and his own statements, prosecutors charged him with 2 counts of capital murder and 1 count of burglary.
No one else was ever charged. I would think that if Andre was with him, though. Oh, wait, no, he had an alibi. Never mind.
He said he wasn't.
He said he wasn't. Okay, so no one else was ever charged. Investigators concluded that Travis had been burglarizing the property when he was confronted by Sally and Lee. They believed he shot both victims and then set fire in an attempt to destroy evidence and cover up the crime. His family, however, never stopped believing in his innocence.
After Sally's death, one of her sisters, Edie, took over managing the family's Horseshoe Lake enterprise. Sally's daughter, Martha, who had been living in California, joined Edie for a while to help her during the transition.
So now let's get into the trial. So Lewis was charged as an adult, but he was 16, and a capital offense meant that he was eligible for the death penalty. The McKay family chose mercy over vengeance and asked prosecutors not to pursue the death penalty.
And he was offered a plea deal, which required him to admit guilt. And on April 7th, 1998, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary. The case was overseen by Circuit Judge David Burnett, who would later gain national attention as the judge who blocked appeals by Damian Eccles and the West Memphis Three.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a significant piece of Southern American history.
Yep. Check it out.
Check it out for sure. Yeah, it's
very upsetting.
Judge Burnett sentenced Lewis to 28 and a half years in prison for the murders, along with an additional 5 years for burglary and theft, though the sentences were ordered to run concurrently. Lewis still maintained that his friend Andre had committed the murders, and his family believed that he took the plea deal to avoid the death penalty.
Which is not impossible.
Right.
Despite the horrific loss they suffered, the McKay family continued to hope Lewis might someday rehabilitate himself. Martha McKay, in particular, took a personal interest in his well-being and rehabilitation. She felt sorry for him because of his young age and because she wasn't sure whether or not he had actually committed the murders.
So now let's get into where are they now? But wait, there's more. So Sally's daughter, Martha McKay, grew up in San Francisco, but spent her summers at Horseshoe Lake, where Snowden House became deeply tied to some of her happiest childhood memories. In her 30s, she attended the University of Washington, UW, and earned a degree in the Comparative History of Ideas program, which I didn't know that was a program. And can I sign up?
Probably only at the University of Washington.
Oh.
I can't remember what, I was listening to a podcast or something, and they were talking about how it was kind of like an experimental thing. So, yeah.
Interesting. Well, everything starts as an experiment. This feels like it would be a very useful and cool degree to have or area of study. Yeah.
While there, she began working on a personal project chronicling the women in her family across generations. The project became so compelling that the program director encouraged her to turn it into her thesis.
Wow. Martha's passion for history and preservation would later shape much of her life. After she was satisfied that her Aunt Edie no longer needed her assistance in Arkansas, Martha moved west and purchased a historic home in Virginia City, Nevada. She painstakingly restored the property to its former beauty, a process she found deeply rewarding. She later renovated several homes in Seattle as well.
When her Aunt Edie died in 2006, Martha decided to purchase Snowden House from the family corporation because they had formed a corporation for all these properties. And she undertook the restoration herself, as she had done with the Nevada property. Some of the renovations were just cosmetic, such as repainting the entrance hall.
Other improvements were more elaborate. Bathroom vanities featured luxurious Calicata gold marble imported from the famed quarries of Carrara, Italy.
Wow.
While heated floors
fancy
warmed the tile beneath visitors' feet, which Martha said her cats loved.
I bet they did.
Mm-hmm.
A strong believer in environmentally friendly technology, Martha also modernized the home's heating and cooling systems. She replaced the outdated gas furnace and window air conditioning units with a geothermal system that drastically reduced utility costs.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah, super cool. Martha opened it to the public as a luxury bed and breakfast and wedding venue. Visitors were captivated by the elegance and grandeur, and Martha hosted weddings, receptions, and special events. Yet despite its beauty and history, to Martha, it was a peaceful refuge.
Described as big-hearted, outgoing, and always ready for an adventure, Martha McKay surrounded herself with friends and embraced her life with an open heart. Over the years, she maintained contact with Travis Lewis, eventually developing a friendship with him during his time in prison. Lewis's mother, Gladys, who worked as Martha's housekeeper, also became a close friend.
A Buddhist who believed strongly in redemption and second chances, Martha regularly wrote to Lewis, visited him behind bars, and advocated for his rehabilitation. She even supported his eventual release.
Many people in her life were uneasy about the relationship. Her longtime friend Frank Bird warned her that befriending Lewis was a mistake, but Martha remained steadfast. Her family shared similar concerns. Her sister Katie urged her to keep her distance, but Martha refused to abandon someone she believed could change.
Martha just seems like, I wish I knew
just
Martha.
Such a nice person.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Martha. Oh my God. She just seems so wonderful. Joseph Baker, who had been deeply affected by his father's murder, was equally troubled by Martha's support of Lewis. By then, Joseph had become a sheriff's deputy. He told Martha that he thought her involvement with Lewis was a bad idea, but ultimately acknowledged that he was powerless to do anything about it.
The best summer memories are made outside, and LL Bean has the clothing and gear you need to make these memories. Their effortless styles are created for summer spent outside with family and friends. Like hand-sewn boat shoes, coastal cotton sweaters, rugged polos, and, of course, the iconic boat and tote, which has been made right here in Maine since 1944. LL Bean. Be an outsider. Visit llbean.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
Whenever Lewis became eligible for parole, members of the McKay family were notified. Every family member opposed his release except for Martha. Although Lewis had originally been sentenced to 28.5 years in prison, he was granted parole in 2018 after serving 23. Both Martha and Gladys had attended the parole hearing in support of him.
After his release, Lewis's brother encouraged him to start over somewhere else, somewhere away from Horseshoe Lake. Instead, Lewis returned home, and Martha welcomed him back. She gave him a job, working on the Snowden estate as a groundskeeper.
By all accounts, he was a hardworking employee, and the estate continued to thrive during that time. Lewis lived with his mother Gladys, and together they helped maintain the historic property she had served for many years.
For a time, everything went fine, but gradually, Lewis began slipping into destructive behavior. Reportedly, even Gladys severed ties with her son and warned Martha, quote, "Stay away from Travis because he's going back into his old ways," unquote.
And despite her deeply forgiving nature, Martha finally reached her limit. After selling a chandelier for $10,000, she temporarily kept the cash at home before depositing it in the bank. I think she sold the chandelier in the afternoon and then, was going to go to the bank the next day.
Okay.
And Lewis knew where she stashed the money.
So, when the money disappeared, suspicion quickly fell on him. He had been the only person to see her return home with the cash and hide it. Convinced he had stolen it, Martha fired him on the spot and forbade him from ever returning to Snowden House.
Which would have been devastating for somebody who was depending on her for his livelihood.
Right, absolutely.
Then, in the early morning hours of March 25th, 2020, sheriff's deputies responded to an alarm at the Snowden house and found the back door ajar. Searching the home, deputies heard a noise upstairs, and a man surprised them by jumping from a second-story window onto the grass below.
Come again?
Yeah.
So deputies chased the suspect, and one of them deployed his taser twice, but the man was out of reach, and the taser missed. He then attempted to flee in a car, but it became stuck in the mud. Oh no! And the man then abandoned the vehicle and ran into Horseshoe Lake, disappearing beneath the water. He never resurfaced.
Inside the house, investigators discovered the body of Martha McKay, 63, at the top of the stairs of the home. She'd been brutally stabbed and beaten to death and then covered up in blankets. She had managed to activate the alarm system before collapsing near the top of the staircase.
Wow. Using sonar equipment, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission at the Crittenden County Search and Rescue Team searched for and found the body of the man who had fled from the house. It was Travis Lewis. He was 39 years old. An autopsy later revealed cocaine, methamphetamine, and THC in his system at the time of his death. So we could say he was doing drugs.
Near Martha's body, investigators found a bag filled with valuables and a bloody kitchen knife. Detectives believed Lewis intended to steal the items in the bag, though they could not determine whether Martha had interrupted a burglary and was killed in the process, or whether Lewis had gone there intending to murder her.
Investigators also considered the possibility that he planned to set the house on fire, as had been done years earlier in the murders of Sally McKay and Lee Baker, potentially using the blankets to help ignite it and destroy evidence.
Today, Horseshoe Lake is a highly sought-after, predominantly white, upscale retreat. Because of its close proximity to Memphis, Horseshoe Lake is a popular summer spot for boating, fishing, and swimming.
The owners of the property surrounding the lake have sold many lots for summer and retirement homes, renovating or replacing the cabins and tenant houses that once stood there. The historic Snowden house was also sold, and it was torn down a few years ago. The property and its grounds were redeveloped with new homes built on the lot.
So everything's gone.
Everything is gone. Fresh start. And
Yep,
I mean,
fresh start.
given how painful the history is there for
It's
the
probably
white
just
owners,
as well, I guess.
yeah, it makes sense. So now we're going to that's the end of the story for us. We're going to tell you what we think made him snap and our takes. And you, Fruities, let us know your thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Beth. What do you think about this?
Well, it was confusing. We didn't get a whole lot about Travis's early life, but everything that we heard was good. So
yeah,
it's kind of odd.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hear any like terrible stories, and he was a good student, described as shy, smart. So yeah, I don't know what happened that could have made him snap.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I knew at the beginning of this story that Lewis killed all 3 of these people. But after researching the story, I'm not entirely sure. There was no forensic evidence that Andre was present at the 1996 crimes, but his alibi was pretty shaky. Like, he was with a girl, and the girl said, yeah, he was with me.
Yep, he was with me.
I mean,
yeah, I'll be anybody's alibi if they ask me nicely.
Yeah. And some people said that he told them he did it, though, that could be just rumors.
Okay.
But a witness said he saw 2 people in the car.
Yep.
And there was no mention of Travis being injured, which if the driver hit their head on the windshield would mean that he did not drive the car.
Right.
So I don't know. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Not sure, not 100% sure that he did it, though. It's possible. I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth.
Yeah.
Lewis was definitely present for the burglaries.
Right.
He did commit the burglary, but did he commit the murders? I don't know.
Yeah.
And if he was innocent of the murders and got sent to prison when he was just 16 years old and then spent 23 years in there.
Yeah.
It's no wonder he didn't do very well when he got out. And that's probably why he turned to drugs.
Right.
Why he killed Martha, I don't know. All I can surmise is that he was doing drugs.
Yeah. I agree. Questionable whether he committed those first murders or not. This case had a lot of information. Like, it was really easy for me to find articles, podcasts, and videos about this case, which we can't always say for all the cases that we do cover.
Right.
And it's probably because the victims were prominent, white, wealthy property owners. And
that makes sense.
That would also put a target on their back, right?
Yeah.
They're the haves amongst a lot of have-nots in that state.
Right.
This case was wild. It does seem possible the first murders were not committed by Travis, that maybe his accomplice Andre was more involved than proven, I guess.
Right.
And if Travis was wrongfully convicted of murder at 16, he unfortunately would not be the first or last Black young person in this country to have been wrongfully convicted or incarcerated for a crime he didn't commit. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying it's possible
it wouldn't be
didn't.
The first time.
Right.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, this was a nice white family. And Martha was one of them real nice white folks.
Yeah.
And she was a Buddhist, and they gave to charity and believed strongly in forgiveness and second chances, and seemed to even advocate for him.
Right.
I think she wrote letters to the parole board on his behalf. She gave his mom a job, just above and beyond, which you don't always expect rich white people to do for anybody.
People of color, especially.
Yeah. So she must have believed strongly he did not kill her mom. That's why she let him in. And they seemed to be friends. They were like writing letters and stuff.
Yeah, pen pals.
Yeah, she showed him so much kindness, and she didn't have to. And he seemed to hold grudges. He held a grudge for being accused of stealing when he was a teenager. And he held a grudge for being wrongfully convicted of the double homicide, and held a grudge at the end for getting fired for stealing the $10,000 for the chandelier. And it seemed like the manner in killing Martha was over the top. Like, he really wanted revenge on Martha for firing him. Yeah.
Right.
And I also think maybe
really sad.
Yeah. Yes. In the face of such kindness, how could you'd be so cruel.
Yeah.
And maybe he thought that stealing from her wouldn't be a big deal. I mean, she's got
She's
it.
got
She's
money
got this
everywhere.
big old house.
Yeah.
$10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah. But his like mentality and reasoning may have been off or completely out the window because he was doing drugs. And I don't know if this was just a thought I had. I don't know if he could swim or not, but if he couldn't, then it seems he must have preferred drowning and dying rather than facing justice.
Or he did so much drugs he thought he could swim.
Oh, he really believed in himself.
Yeah.
Oh, that
you never know.
You never know.
I mean, meth is a terrible drug.
It is, yeah. I watched a lot of Intervention back in the day, and I agree. But perhaps that made sense to him given what he like.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to jail.
I'm never going back to jail, and that might have made sense to him because of what he experienced before, being a young person who got convicted for a crime that he said he didn't do. In my opinion, that makes him an even more cowardly, awful human, if that's the case, that he did it just to escape justice.
Right.
The murders happened, I'd noticed, 1 week after the declaration of the COVID-19 pandemic, the murder of Martha. And lots of people were just stuck. Like, life stopped. People who had incomes suddenly did not.
Yeah.
And people couldn't work, couldn't even leave the house. And maybe that played a part in his mentality.
Got fired.
Yeah.
And, like,
what
now
the
what's
fuck
he gonna
am I
do?
supposed to do now? Yeah. And then also sometimes white supremacy will use cases like this to justify reinforcing more white supremacy and mass incarceration and harsher punishment to eliminate any possibility of rehabilitation or redemption for the person who harmed somebody. And
awful. In
my head, I could just hear white folks saying, "Oh, they should have never let that N-word out." And I don't know what to make of that. It's just a thought I had.
Yeah,
and no judgment, just a thought that I had.
Anytime a person of color does anything bad, then, you know, it reflects on all of them. That's not true for white people.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's awful.
Yeah. And racism, just another thought, we don't have to do anything with it. Racism in America and the relationship between Black and white folks, particularly in the South, is different than any other part of the country or the world. And that idea was pretty glaring to me in this case. And then lastly, just rest in peace to Sally Lee and sweet Martha. Boy, oh boy.
I would have liked to have been Martha's friend.
Oh my God. Me too. Me too. I just hearing about her, she just seemed like the most wonderful person.
So wonderful. Yeah.
So, well, that's it.
Okay.
All right, Beth, where can the people find us?
Our website is fruitloopspod.com, and we use Fruit Loops Pod for all of our social media. The footnotes for each episode can be found on our website. Plus, check it out for the different ways that you can support the show. You can also join us on Patreon, where we have hundreds of hours of bonus content. You can also support us by supporting our sponsors, or by giving us a 5-star review.
5 stars only, please.
Don't forget to subscribe.
That's right. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and episodes drop on Thursdays. So until next time, look alive, y'all. It's crazy out there. Okay, well, we are recording. I am me tell you something about living on a farm. When summer hits, flies abound everywhere. So I have a fly swatter, and I am just going crazy with it. Okay. So I might, during the recording, you might hear a whack.
Okay.
I'm not doing it to be annoying. Yeah, it's just these flies just are the most. Yeah. One of my dogs, he's been busting through the screen windows, but we don't notice. Yeah, we don't notice until what's all these fucking flies around here? Yeah. Anyway,
got it.
Got it. Okay, so appreciate the understanding ahead of time.
Problem.
Now, let's see. Sip of water. One moment. Okay, and I'm ready. Hit it, Beth.
Okay. You're supposed to say, who are we talking about today?
Great point. Thanks for saying that. Totally forgot. Okay.
And romanticize.
You got it. You can do it. I believe in you.
I can do it. Romanticizing.
Yes. Comparative history. In the comparative history of. Oh my God.
Doing drugs.
Had escalated.
Scaled. Escalated. He vehemently. How do you pronounce that?
Go with that. Go with that one.
Vehemently. Okay. I knew that.
But I like vehemently.
Vehemently.
It's intense. Yeah.
Say it again.
Vehemently is how you say vehemently.
Okay, vehemently.
But I really like the way you said it. I'm going to start saying it like that from now on. Sorry. I'm trying not to. I'm going to shut up.
Doing drugs.
Potentially. What? Potentially.
Wasn't me this time.
Yeah. You gotta believe me.
Like you just forget how to pronounce a stupid word.
Yeah, I know. Doing drugs. And I don't know. That's it. We did it. That's the end. Goodbye. Okay. Good night. Okay, my dear. Well, you know I love you very much. And I'll get this audio into the drive and see you next week. And see you on the internet. Okay. Night. Thanks, Minnie.
Bye.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.